Here's what Senator's talking about. Because I've had time lately, I actually went and got it. Senator makes candles, y'all. At first, I didn't know what this was. I was like, is it a heart? It is a heart. But they do amazing glassware. And I think this is called Sangre de Vida, right? They do like really cool glassware where some of these are in the shape of skulls, like really cool stuff. And then I think these are handmade. They're really dope. So I did pick it up. Y'all check out Senator. If you check out his website as well, you'll be able to pick up these candles.
What up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Curated Topics, brought to you by Curated Sense LLC. How y'all like that first video? Okay, I told y'all we working, we build it as we fly it. We getting some candles out to some pretty cool people, and shout out to them for responding to me and you know, even throwing the candle in their live stream, in their videos, making videos, all those sorts of things. Shout out to AV, thank you. That's AV to the seventh power. If you don't know about her, she is a law student. I believe that she's still in law school, but she covers different court cases and things of that nature and gives her legal advice. She gives her perspective from the legal side of things. And I got hip to her from the lead attorney, and I really liked his content, and I really liked when he would do videos with her on it. So I started watching her stuff as well, especially since the lead attorney has been kind of taking a break from the YouTube videos. He doesn't do them quite as much anymore, and I like to watch some of these law cases, man. Some of them are pretty interesting. So thank you once again. Thank you, AV. You blessed me with the little shout out on the live. I appreciate it, and keep on going, because I'm gonna keep on going as well. So let's talk about it. She had a hard bottle in her video as well. She had one of these. This is the Sangre de Vida. This is a tequila bottle, and the scent in there, now AV, I gave you the same scent that I got here in mine. The scent in there is the vampire blood. Let me smell it. Y'all know I gotta smell them. They smell so good. Now this scent here is pretty interesting. So when I first got hip to this scent, when I smelled it in the bottle, I really wasn't that impressed. And it wasn't until I actually like spilled a little bit of it on accident, and then when it came out of the bottle that it was in, that it got shipped to me in, and I really got a chance to smell it, I was like, oh, this might be a little bit different. Hold on. So I made this candle as an experiment. I was actually drinking this tequila. If you're gonna drink, please drink responsibly. But I was drinking this tequila, and you know, I was just sitting there being creative. I was like, wait a minute. Sangre de Vida, the blood of life. Oh, vampire blood. I'm gonna make that into a candle. So I made it, and then I was like, I wonder if it will smell different once it's in candle form versus being inside the bottle. And it was a pleasant surprise. I love the way this smells. As y'all can see, I have not burned this yet. And to be quite honest with you, I don't know when I'm gonna burn it. I just like the way it smells. Like, I can smell it when I walk into the room, and it's just very nice and it's sweet. And I'm just like, oh yeah, that is in here. And I just haven't lit it yet. I'm probably going to at some point, but we'll see. I just, sometimes with some of these candles, man, I wait for the right moment. I haven't had the right moment for this one, but I just, and I'm also kind of spoiled. Like, I love the way it smells, so I want to keep that smell going as long as possible, and that only happens if I don't light it. Now I want you all to light yours. Please Light your candles so that you can get some more. And that's what I really need to do. I need to light my candles and just make myself some more. But anyway, let me talk about the scent right quick. I'll give you all the scent description. This is a perfume scent. Perfume scent is very mysterious and intriguing with elegance, allure, and depth. This scent has dark, sweet, and fruity notes with some floral hints on the back end. It's a blend of red berries, dark plums, night blooming jasmine, and has a dark muskiness to add depth. Now, I really love this scent. I'm not gonna lie to you. This might be one of my favorite perfume scents. So I encourage you all, if you want the heart bottle like this, go on my website, pick out your scent. It doesn't have to be vampire blood. That's just kind of the feature that I like to do with that bottle. But go pick it out, put it in the notes that you would like the heart bottle, and if I have one, I'll try to get it for you. These bottles, they're starting to become more popular in Ohio, so I have been able to get them a little bit more. But also, I'm not going to drink all that, and I'm not going to drink it fast, so I encourage you all to not do that either. But if I have some around, because I actually like the tequila, so if I have some of the bottles around, I will be able to put them in that bottle. So just let me know. Once again, if you shop online, check us out at curatedsentsllc.com and just put it in the notes, and I'll see what I can do. All right, so let's move on. We're going to talk about some football. Now, I am a week behind, and I apologize for that. I had a really, really busy week this week. I'm preparing for some things at work, and I was preparing for some things to happen this week at work. And I actually enrolled kind of last minute in a personal development course that took place during the evening time during the week for about 4 days this week. So that's why I didn't record last Monday, because I was actually in that class, in that course up until about 8:45, almost 9. And by the time it was over, I was like, I've used my brain a lot. I'm tired. And I just wanted to go and relax. The other thing that happened was Borderlands 4 dropped last week on Friday, and I was too eager to beat it. So, I got tired, and I was like, I just kind of want to play some games and do all the things and relax. And Borderlands 4 took up a lot of my time, y'all. I'm sorry, but I had to put y'all off for this game, at least for the one playthrough. You know what I'm saying? Now that I have beaten the game, I'm still gonna play it. I'm still gonna. I like the game like that. I am going to play it, but it's not gonna be, oh, I gotta beat it, oh, I gotta beat it, oh, I gotta beat it. You know how it goes sometimes when you got a good game and it just kind of ropes you in, pause, and you just gotta play it till it's over with. You know what I'm saying? Aaron Animal, he knows what I'm talking about. And if y'all don't check him out. Or if you don't know about him, check him out. Aaron and Animal on YouTube. Now, I'm trying to start a movement to get him back to doing some gaming videos. Maybe not all the time, I know he likes to do his anime reactions, things like that now. But brother, I miss watching you play games, man. I do. Pause. Like, he plays some like horror games and stuff like that, and I'm not gonna lie, it's fun to watch, especially when you're watching like his lives, and he'll do a live stream of him like playing like a horror game where they got some jump scares and stuff. Oh, bring it back, man. Bring it back. Maybe once a week, once a month, you know what I'm saying? So if you hear this and you all agree, if y'all know Aaron Animal, tell him in the comments, hey, yo, bring back the horror games. I want to see somebody jump up out their seat and they glasses come off their face again. And he knows what I'm talking about when I say that. I want to see that happen. So maybe one of these days he and I will be on stream together and we'll go through and play a game or something. But help me out, y'all, because I need those videos to come back. That was part of my weekly entertainment. But anyway, so now that I have beat Borderlands 4 at least one time through, I will try not to play as much so that I can still be consistent, get my videos out, and all those sorts of things. But I had to take the week to just kind of decompress. I was in those trainings, and then the rest of my free time I went and I had to do, some other things and play games. So that's why it took so long. I'm sorry, y'all. I know I said Tuesday or Wednesday, and then I didn't anticipate these trainings to go the way they went. So when I first signed up, it was like, okay, they're gonna be from 7 to 8. But then I found out they had like a question and answer session each day afterwards, and I stayed through those. And sometimes they ran over, which I'm not upset about. I learned a lot of great things, and I'll talk about that a little bit later in this video. But it was just, I had to do what I had to do. So I hope y'all are okay. Thank you for bearing with me. And let's get on to the video. We about to talk about some sports now. All right. So I want to talk about some football. I'm gonna start off with college football. Last Saturday, the Ohio State University played my alma mater. And this is probably the only time I'll say this like out on the video, but they played my alma mater, Ohio University. And going into this game, like, I did not expect Ohio University to win. We didn't win, by the way, which is okay, and I felt a little torn. I'm not gonna lie, I felt a little torn because when it comes to college football, I believe scarlet and gray. I believe in Ohio State University. That is who I root for no matter what, except this week. I had to root for Ohio University, and it was crazy because I went out with a couple of friends and everybody else was looking at us like, what is wrong with y'all? Who are y'all rooting for this other team? I felt like I was betraying my Ohio State and all of that, but you know what? At the same time, I wouldn't have felt right if I didn't root for the place where I went to school. I love that school. I've talked about it before, but it was even shocked that I was able to go. And so I just got school spirit, man, and I had to go. I had to root for Ohio University, and so I did. I showed up. I had on all my gear. I was about one of the only ones with the gear on. It was me and my other friend who went there. That was it. And there was like 30 other people with Ohio State jerseys on, and we the only ones in green and black. But you know what? That's okay. We still represented. And this game was actually much closer than I anticipated. This game was way better than I thought it was going to be. I have to give it up for the Bobcats because y'all kept the game close. You played with heart. Y'all knew y'all was going to lose. Y'all knew y'all was going to lose, but you went out there and you played like real professionals. Now, I know y'all aren't professionals yet, but you went out there and you tried to make it a game. This game was actually a lot closer than what the score says it was, especially in that first half. In the first half, Ohio University played hard defense, and they kept the game close. It was only 10-3 at halftime. So it was actually a one-score game. It was a close game. And then in the third quarter, Ohio University, they had a long catch and run score from wide receiver Chase Hendricks. That was a heck of a run, bro. And I think it all sparked from towards the beginning of the game. An OSU player, Smith, got up in the face of one of the OU players, grabbed him by the face mask of the helmet. And they, flags were thrown and all of that. But it really brought out the intensity and it brought out the effort of the Bobcats. And I just want to commend them for playing a very well game. They had 2 interceptions on Sand. They had 2 interceptions on him. They didn't just let Ohio State do whatever they wanted to when they wanted to. And although they lost the game, they really put up a valiant effort. And I really just want to commend them for that. Now, Ohio State, you all did a good job of weathering the storm from OU. You did a good job. They kept it close. And you know, that could have swayed things in the game. But you all hit a turning point. You said, you know what? We're going to turn it on for real. And you came out with the winners and you won in very convincing fashion. Let's just put it that way. The score, I think, was 37-9 at the end of the game, which, you know, that kind of indicates a blowout. And it kind of was. But at the same time, this game was a lot closer, and it could have scared y'all for a second. But I commend OSU for finishing out the game strong, putting together some drives, and getting the win. Now, I was not a loser for either one of these in the game. I rooted for both teams. I was happy that, you know, both teams were able to score. I was happy that Ohio State won because I wouldn't want them to lose. I'm still an Ohio State fan, but I had to root for where I went to school, you know? It was just one of those things. And so I felt like a winner in both ways. And even though I got some weird looks for cheering for Ohio University, I don't care. I really don't care. But I felt like, you know, hey, I'm a winner either way it goes. If we were able to pull out the upset, I'm really going to be a winner because the school spirit, this is where I went, those sorts of things. But I'm not mad. You know, both teams played pretty well, and I hope that the players from OU take it back to the MAC, and do what they need to do to win that conference again. Because nobody else is putting up that type of performance from that type of school. If anybody from OU hears this, hey, show this to the players. Y'all take that. Even though it was a loss, y'all take that as like a moral victory to show, hey, we can hang with the big school, the big dominant school, even if it was just for 3 quarters. So good job on that game, both teams. Let's keep it moving. Now, I talked about the happy side first. Now I got to talk about the not so happy side. On Sunday, the Cleveland Browns played the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I did not expect us to win at all. First of all, we were in Baltimore. Second of all, it was Baltimore's 25th or 30th anniversary of them becoming a team. All my Clevelanders know this. All of them. If you was born yesterday in Cleveland, you know this. The Baltimore Ravens became a team because they moved from being the Cleveland Browns. And it really kind of it really gets on all of our nerves. It really pisses us all off because they've been to more Super Bowls. They've won a Super Bowl and been more successful as a team since they moved. And the way they moved was in horrible fashion. I'm doing my eyes like that on purpose. I'm just going to put that out there. I'm doing my eyes like that on purpose. They should be in Cleveland. They should be in Cleveland. Lamar Jackson should be our quarterback. And that is kind of how I felt on Sunday. Watching that game, aside from us having Myles Garrett, and our defense played okay at the beginning. But aside from us having Myles Garrett, what are we doing? Let me back up. I'm gonna talk about the good things first, okay? We got Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett went out there and played like the professional that he is. He had 1.5 sacks on Lamar Jackson, and that is difficult. Have y'all seen Lamar run? Put a 1 down in the comments if you've ever seen Lamar Jackson run. Touching him, pause, let alone tackling him. Do I need to say anything else? Like, that is one difficult task. And Myles Garrett went out there and he almost had 2 sacks on him. And I'm pretty sure they were close together again, almost like the ones he had with Joe Burrow. Now, Joe Burrow was back to back, but he was right up in there, pause, to get at Lamar. Right up in there. And I don't know what is going on with the Browns. Like, we are letting our players who are playing well down. We're letting them down. You got one side of the ball playing their heart out. I'm talking about the defense. They are playing their heart out, trying to keep the game close, trying to put us in decent position so that on offense we can score. Now, before I get to Joe Flacco, I'm about to skip. In my notes I had Flacco first in what I wanted to talk about on the negative side, but I'm about to skip Flacco for a second. I'm going straight down to the coaching. Do we have an offensive coordinator? If so, get rid of him. Bring in somebody new. What are you doing? What are you doing? These play calls trash. These play calls are trash. 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 And then I have another question. Is it time for Kevin Stefanski to leave? Is it time for Kevin Stefanski to leave? Now, I'm not trying to hurt nobody's feelings. I'm not trying to ruffle no feathers. But is it time for him to go? I mean, this man, he's supposed to be some offensive-minded coach. But we are like dead last in scoring for like the past how many years? We are almost dead last in scoring. How are you an offensive-minded coach and we can't score the football? How? This makes no sense to me. And we've had the personnel. You can't blame it on the personnel. This year, last year, none of them. How are we last, bro? Last. We got lucky and scored 17 points in this game. We got lucky and scored 17 points in this game. How are we last? And you supposed to be an offensive-minded coach. How are we last? Didn't you win Coach of the Year a couple years ago? So why are we not able to score the ball? Once again, where is the run game? Now, we did have Judkins in this game, which I was happy about, but like, did he even practice with the team? I don't think he was able to. Now I got to go up to the GM. Why did you let go of Nick Chubb? Why? Now, he might not be everything that he used to be, and we know that. The man's leg went one way and then another way and then another way. He looked like a bent back paperclip. But we should have let him get healthy. We should have let him come back and produce. And then he's better than what we got. And we are not doing anything to help our players who are actually performing. Now I'm going to get back to Flacco. Flacco, I call him Flacco off the couch. Well, Flacco, you was still on the couch in this game, bro. You look like you was ready to go and sit down on your couch because you did not look good in this game. I know you're a professional and all of that, but it kind of made me wonder, like, the way you were playing made me wonder, what's the sentiment with the Ravens, man? You trying to give them this celebration day? Like, what you doing? What are you doing? You should have been out there trying to spoil this game for them, for real. And that is not what I saw out there. You were playing like you wanted to go sit on the couch. You were not playing well. We have to do better, especially for the guys who are producing. It was an all-around lack of effort on offense. Our defense played as hard as they could, and then what do you expect from them? Like, no wonder the Ravens scored 41 points. Like, our defense was out there almost the whole game. You're not going to win that way. You are not going to win that way. We have to do better, man. We have to do better. And I would like to see us get a win before the snow starts falling. I don't want our only wins to be in the wintertime. I need a good weather win. We play Green Bay on Sunday. I don't think we're going to win that game either. To be honest with you, I don't see it happening, but I'm hoping. So we'll see what happens. Y'all tell me what y'all think. What you think we're going to do against Green Bay? Let's do an over and under. I don't gamble, but over and under. What y'all think? What you think the score is going to be in this Green Bay game? Let me know. All right, we're gonna move on before I get too sad about these Browns. I want to talk about, for the motivational side, I want to talk about something that kind of relates to what I saw in the Browns game and the OSU game, and that is performing even in a losing effort or in a losing battle. Performing even in a losing battle. Your performance you should always be looking to perform at a high level. Now, none of us are perfect. None of us are always going to get it right. None of us are always going to be at our 100%. But it's on us to perform regardless. It's on us to perform to the best of our ability, even when times are tough, even when things aren't going our way, even when the chips are down and it looks like we are about to lose. It's still our job to perform. And you know why? It's your job to perform because your performance shouldn't be solely based on your expected results. You shouldn't just perform because you're expecting to win, is what I mean. You shouldn't go out there, oh yeah, I'm about to win, so I'm about to turn up. Nah. What about those times when you don't know if you're going to win or not? You can't go out somewhere and be, you know what, I'm about to take this L, so I'm not even going to try. Nah, because then you're guaranteeing yourself to take an L, and not only that, but the people around you are going to feel that sort of energy. They're going to feel that, they're going to see that lack of effort, and they're going to feel that discouragement that comes with just simply sitting back and taking an L. You have to go out on your shield. You have to still try to perform because you don't know the outcome, to be honest. You never know that. You don't know the outcome. Those teams where they say, oh yeah, well, this is an easy win. How many times have you seen an underdog win against somebody with that kind of mindset? In the OU game, I guarantee you, those Ohio State players thought, all right, we about to just push them around. And we actually saw it happen on the field when the little altercation broke out between Smith and some of the other players. And it brought an intensity in these OU guys like, oh, no, you're not about to just push us around. You might be the Ohio State, but we still Ohio University. We still right in y'all neck of the woods. And that was what I liked about that game so much, especially at the beginning, because everybody thought, oh, okay, they just about to run it on down and score easily. They about to run it down on them, pause. And there were a couple of times where, Ohio State, they got down into the red zone. They got down up in there close to the end zone, and they got stopped. But it was because those OU players took it upon themselves to approach the game with a level of intensity. They didn't go out there all lackadaisical. Oh, well, we gonna lose, so we might as well not even try. That's not how they went about things. They went about things like, okay, y'all the Ohio State, but we gonna show you that we not no chumps. Especially after the altercation. And that's what I liked. I liked that type of effort. But you know who else saw that? You know who else saw that effort? Other Ohio State fans. I saw plenty of people. You had people going like this, like in the bar, because they didn't understand how Ohio State got stopped on some of these plays. They didn't understand that these OU players came with effort, and that's what you got to do in your life. You got to shock some people with the level of effort that you put into your craft in order to succeed. You have to shock some people with the level of effort that you're willing to put in, the performance that you're willing to put in. The chips was down, but this dude, he persevered, he performed. That's the stuff that people are gonna go home talking about. And that's what we saw in that game when it came down to their effort, their energy. That's what it was that we talked about. Oh yeah, they lost, but we talked about the fact that they kept that game close. The other point I wanted to make was alongside with, who else was watching. This game was nationally televised. And for a lot of these players, especially on on the OU side, they won't get that type of coverage maybe ever again this season. There are people who are seniors. There are people who, they're trying to do this and take it beyond college. Other eyes were watching this game. There were NFL scouts watching this game. There were scouts from other leagues watching this game. General manager. You never know who saw what performance. Because this game was nationally televised, millions of people now know somebody's name or something from seeing this level of effort that got put in. And once again, that's what you have to do in your life, because you never know who's watching. You never know who's paying attention. You have to perform either way it goes. You might get your shot based upon your performance during a tough time. Somebody might be watching you. They might be paying attention. You never know who knows what's going on with you. They might be like, you know what? He was going through a rough patch, but I saw him dig in. I saw him do the work. I saw her dig in. I saw her do the work. I saw her put forth the effort. And then when it comes time for you to get your just due, when it comes time for you to get your shine, you will get it because you didn't know who was paying attention. I want to go to Myles Garrett, for example. Myles Garrett, he could have taken the game off. He could have said, you know what? They about to beat us. It's their celebration game. I'm not about to do a whole lot. I'll go out there, do my thing, and then, go sit on the bench and rest. He just had a huge contract extension. He's already established as a dominant force in the league. Probably the best defender in the league, or at least the best defensive lineman in the league. And he still was the consummate professional that he is. And he went out there and performed. And his efforts kept the game close, at least during that first half. At least during the first half. And that takes me back to, the Browns gotta do something. They gotta make some changes. I heard rumors Amari Cooper thought about retiring or something. Go get Amari. Go get somebody. Somebody is they want to play one more year. Give me one more year. Let Joe Flacco throw you the ball and make something happen. But we gotta do something, because we are wasting Myles Garrett's efforts. We're wasting them. Back to the motivation. You have to be, in your life, you have to be like Myles. Be the consummate professional. Go out there, get you a sack and a half in order for you to perform in your life. Don't look at a loss. Don't look at an L and just take it. You have to perform. You have to show up. You can't just be okay with, that just happens. No, you have to dig in and you have to put forth the effort anyway. When you're in a tough time, take a chance to invest in yourself, man. Take a chance to invest in yourself. Invest in personal development. Go out there and strengthen your weaknesses. You're never too old to learn something and add value to your life. And not only that, you'll learn how to add value to someone else. And when you learn how to add value to someone else, I talked about it in another video, networking. Adding value to a group inherently adds value to yourself, because you now bring forth power. By networking, you bring forth power. You know more people. You're able to add to other people. They're able to add to you, and that does nothing but build power. A lot of the things I'm talking about on this channel, they're not just things that I have made up off the top of my head. Now, some of the stuff, I've freestyle here and there. I done talked about some things. I do take notes, but a lot of this stuff I'm not just talking about off the top of my head. I've actually invested in some personal development courses and trainings myself. I've taken some as a part of my job. I've also done some as a part of my own personal growth that I wanted to do. And I try to use what I learned in those teachings to share them with you all and mix in my own experiences and tie that in with some lessons. One is practice for what I do at work. But two, I really want anybody who's listening, I don't even know who all is listening, but I really want it to be able to relate to someone and to be able to help someone. I didn't go through all this just to sit on my hands and do nothing, and neither should you. So build yourself up, take some personal development courses, take some trainings, find a way to increase your value, find a way to perform, even when the chips are down. And you'll be able to do that by building yourself up. We're all about building each other up over here. That's men, women, everybody. We are on building each other up. The personal development course that I was a part of, it was called the Power of Networking Challenge with Dr. George Fraser. Now, Dr. George Fraser is actually somebody who I know. He is here in Cleveland, but he is all over the globe, knows people all over the nation, all over the globe. And when I came across it, I had to jump on it. I was like, oh, I know Dr. Fraser. I have to jump on this. I have to. And it was a very unique experience, but also very valuable, very informative. And it helped me with some things that, some things I was already aware of and hip to in terms of the teachings, but it gave me some of that fine tuning, and it's only going to make me better. Now, the first night was with Dr. Fraser. He talked about the power of networking. He talked about some of the advantages that come with a good network and how to establish a good network. And I talked about that in another video, but it was that reinforcement. And like I said, fine tuning. He said a couple of things that I didn't say and I didn't know about. But learning from an older person, learning from a more experienced person, that's only going to grow my knowledge. And I encourage you all, if you're able to, go and check it out. If he has another Power of Networking challenge, go and check it out. The second night was with Dr. Boyce Watkins and his wife, Dr. Alicia Watkins. They had some very cool information to talk about. They talked about finance. They talked about rebuilding the family unit. And it was just a overall great experience with that second night. I actually got a chance to ask them some questions in the Q&A session on that second night. And that was part of where earlier in the video I was like, yeah, it kind of ran over, but they had some very insightful things to say. Really going to help me when it comes to growing my business. Third night was with Linda Clemens, and she talked about body language and different social cues and things like that. Very, very insightful as well. She actually talked about a show. She brought up a show that I really liked. I was sad when it got canceled. It was called Lie to Me. And it's a show based upon how to read nonverbal cues, read body language, and things like that. And a lot of the things that she was talking about, I was like, hey, isn't that from that show? Before she brought the show up. And then she talked about how the show is based upon actually some real people. And she has worked with those people who the show was based off of. And I just thought that was really interesting. And all these things I'm going to add to my personal toolbox, and they're just going to help me to get better. These are the types of things that I would like you all to do to help make yourselves better. Now, I'm not telling you got to do this specifically, but go out there, find some things to add to your toolbox. Find some things that will help you perform in this game called life. You want to be successful, you're going to have to go out and keep learning, keep developing, keep growing. Now, the fourth night was a special night for all the VIPs, and that was with Donald Carter Jr. He talked about some different finance things and things of that nature when it came to doing things for your business. I really enjoyed that as well. My favorite night would probably be the first night with Dr. Fraser, or maybe that third night with Linda Clements. Dr. Fraser had a lot of insightful things to say. He talked about a couple of books. Read books, y'all. Read books. I used to love reading. I kind of lost it being in school, when you have to read and all of that. But I have picked it back up, and reading for pleasure is a little bit different than reading, because you have to. Read books. They will help you. They're a lot more insightful than what you may think. And read stuff that you're interested in. You don't have to just read, whatever. Look for stuff that you're interested in. Look for stuff that's going to help you grow, and read it. It's stuff that you can do in your own time, all those sorts of things. And I promise it will help you. But we're going to move on. We're going to move on to some music now. I want to talk about some music. This is kind of nostalgia for me, my music selections today. So my album of the week is Bad Meets Evil by Eminem and Royce da 5'9". Now, I was talking about, the reason I chose this, I was talking with one of my friends earlier today, and she brought up like an old Eminem song and got to kind of humming it and singing it while we were talking. And man, it took, you ever had a time where you hear something and then it just take you on a whole path? Like, I went all the way down the path. So I asked her, I'm like, oh, you singing Eminem, huh? She, oh yeah, I like Eminem. I'm a fan. I'm like, okay, well, what's your favorite Eminem song? And then we just got to talking about different songs and this and that, and why we like Eminem and all of that. And I was like, look, I like Eminem because he just says whatever. He just comes out, he says whatever. It's not something I'm going to necessarily party to. It's not something that I'm going, take to the club or anything like that. But if I want to go to the gym, if I want to hear some craziness, if I want to be in that mode where, he says the things that like you think in your head, but you would never really say out loud. And you just like, what? You just say whatever, huh? You just say whatever. That's why I like Eminem. But lyrically, lyrical mastermind, all those sorts of things. So then I went on a whole tangent. I was talking about this one song that I liked, because I was like, I don't even know what my favorite M song is. I like one song off of each album, and then something just made me go to this album, Bad Meets Evil, and I was telling her about it. I was telling her about some crazy line he said. I'm not going to repeat it on here, but I was telling her about some crazy line he said, and then next thing I know, I'm listening to the whole album, and I was like, you know what? I got to throw this in my video today, because I done listened to the whole album at this point, so it's going in there. So that's why I chose this album for today. I also did another song for the week. She asked me why, because I told her about my YouTube. She asked me why my name was Senator on there, and so I'll share this with you all. So my nickname is the Senator because of my grandmother. She was a music head as well. One of my favorite artists of all time is James Brown. Now, James Brown has a song called Funky President. And in Funky President, he says towards the end, I should be the mayor so I could change some things around here. I should be the governor. And I loved that line as a little kid. And I was like, you know what? Grandma, I want to be the mayor. I want to be the governor too, like James Brown. And she said, well, you can't have two mayors. You can't have two governors. If he's the governor and the mayor, let him be that. You'll be the senator. And so then it just became a nickname, and that's how I got that. I got that from her. So, song of the week is gonna go, shout out to my grandma. Song of the week is gonna be Funky President by James Brown. All right. So that's it for this week. I will be back this Monday. I promise. I will be back this Monday. I'm going to have some things to talk about. Hopefully, I'm going to be talking about a Browns win. If not, we're going to be 0-3 on our way to 0-17. I really hope not, though. We need a win. And I knew this was a mistake. I was talking to somebody at the Muni lot during our home opener, and they were telling me, oh, we going to go 0-8 in the first 9 weeks. And I was like, nah, we got at least about 5 wins. We could pull out 4 to 5 wins. I'm thinking 4. I'm saying 4-4. All I want is 4-4. If we lose this third game, man, I don't know. She might have been right. We might be at 0-8, 0-9, and I don't want that. It's never fun in Cleveland when the Browns losing like that. It's just not. So come on, y'all. I done talked about y'all 3, 4, 50, 11 times in this video. Get us a win tomorrow. Get us a win tomorrow, please. Do what you gotta do. All right, y'all. But I want to say thank you to my listeners. I appreciate you all for listening. I appreciate all the feedback I've been receiving. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Keep all the comments coming, everything. And thank you to my subscribers. If you are not subscribed yet, please do so. Check us out. We building each other up over here. As men, as women, all of us. We building each other up. And in the words of KS, we build it as we fly it. So I want you all to get out there, start performing, get up on your grind, do whatever it is that you got to do. And don't worry about it being perfect. Build yourself up as you go. That's how you're going to grow. You grow as you go. That's it for me today. And y'all know, like I always say, I'll catch y'all on the next one.
I make the beat just go, knees get weak, jump, we don't fear.